Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for my top 10 comic books of the week. That's right everybody, thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is my list of my top 10 comic books for the week, not a spec list, just a list of the comic books that I think were the best, the creme de la creme, and I would highly recommend. Let's get right into it. At number 10, Commanders in Crisis #1 from Image Comics. Commanders in Crisis is written by Steve Orlando. Now, usually with Steve Orlando books, I don't quite get into them issue to issue. I do find myself appreciating them a lot better when I read them in a collected format. However, Commanders in Crisis #1 was a really cool concept that I think really plays to the strengths of Steve Orlando as a writer, and I was very, very surprised by the first issue. The basic premise of the story, without revealing too much, is it kind of takes a Crisis DC superhero level type thing, but it does it in a way where there's no restrictions. So Steve Orlando is actually, I feel, not held back in this, and I think it really helps the excitement level of the book. The artwork by David Tinto is absolutely fine. It's colorful, it's boisterous, it's got simple, clean line work that really helps accentuate the story and especially the emotions of the humans, or superhumans involved, I should say. It was an interesting concept, interesting premise, and it was a pretty solid first issue, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. At number 9, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, National Anthem, #1 from Dark Horse Comics. It's no surprise, I'm a huge Gerard Way fan, therefore I love the original True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys book, which had artwork by Becky Cloonan. Now we have the artwork by Leonardo Romero and Jordi Belair on the coloring, and it is top-notch. I thought these two did a phenomenal job on the Kelly Thompson penned Hawkeye series starring Kate Bishop. I think this is levels above that. It's weird, it's quirky, and it's zany. Of course, because it's a Gerard Way comic book, and of course it's also co-written by Sean Simon, the original co-writer of True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. This book is a bit confusing, it's a bit exuberant and in your face, but I love it because of that. It's a prequel to the original series, which in fact was actually a sequel to the album True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, and then it goes, whatever. It was really, really fun if you're a Gerard Way fan, if you like his work on Doom Patrol and other DC Young Animal stuff. Even if you like Umbrella Academy, I would highly recommend it. It's colorful, it's wacky, it's zany, it's rock and roll, and it's in your face, and I loved it. At number 8, Stargazer, #2 from Mad Cave Studios. Anthony Cleveland has written a really great Teen Dog Shades appropriate type book. It's about a brother and sister and their friends who have an alien contact experience at some point in their young life. Now that time has passed, they're all a little bit older, the brother is still headfirst into this idea of alien abductions and ufology and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, everybody else has kind of gone on their own way. But then it all rears its ugly alien head right back up. This story is great because it's anchored by this human element, the brother and the sister, their love and bond for each other. And then, of course, you have the friends. You have Antonio Fuso doing the artwork with amazing coloring. Absolutely amazing coloring by Stefano Simone. The coloring is great. It goes from these really great psychedelic purples and blues and pinks, and it kind of teeters between those. It does it great, almost monochromatically, but very effective for the tone and psychedelic and near spiritual nature of the story. I think this is really, really fun. If you like Teen Dog Shades appropriate type stuff, definitely check out Stargazer. So far, my favorite book I've ever read from Mad Cave Studios. At number 7, Dark Knight's Death Metal #4 from DC Comics. You can really tell that Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are having a lot of fun with this anti-crisis event that they're concocting for DC, and I'm having just as much fun reading it. It's involving all these different characters. It involves all these different references to all the other Crisis events, all the other big moments in DC, from Crisis on Infinite Earths all the way to the Golden Age, to Flashpoint, New 52, Doomsday Clock. It's all addressed, it's all taken care of, and it's done so in a very fun and festive type way. The true love of superhero event comic books shines right through the pages of Death Metal. Greg Capullo just keeps getting better. This is an uncanny trait of Capullo's in which he gets better as he progresses, and that's usually not how it goes, but it's going with Capullo that way. Him and Snyder are a hell of a team. This is a fun book. It picks right up off from the last issue and the one-shots that tied up in between, especially Trinity Crisis. I freaking love this book. This is superhero comic books, superhero event comic books done right. I am supremely excited every time a new issue or tie-in is out for Death Metal, and that's saying a lot. This one has a lot of excitement, lots of exposition, and lots of setup, and a crazy ending, and I cannot wait to see what follows. At number 6, 7 Secrets, number 3, from Boom Studios. Boom Studios has a hell of a week this week. Well, let's start talking about them with 7 Secrets. 7 Secrets number 3 does a great job of continuing this character arc, explaining who these characters are, building up these relationships, setting up the world and the mystery of what the 7 Secrets are, how one goes to become a part of this organization that is trusted with the handling and secrecy and safety of these secrets. But it's the human and emotional anchor that really helps cement this story as something truly fascinating. So it's got that, but it also has absolutely brilliant artwork by Danielle Di Nicuolo. It's kinetic, it's manga influence, it's got a lot of energy to it, and it really helps the dichotomy between the balanced nature of the humanity from Tom Taylor's script and the crazy action that's portrayed in the pencils, in the line work. I love it. Great coloring, Walter Baiamonte. I'm loving this book. 3 issues in. It's setting up a really interesting premise, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. At number 5, Strange Adventures, number 6, from DC Black Label. This is Tom King doing what Tom King does best. A 12-issue series with a C-D-list type character, Adam Strange, not known to a lot of comic book fans out there, but a lot of us who've been reading comic books for decades, we know and have a great strong affection for the character. This is a different kind of spin on the character, but what Tom King is doing, and enhanced by the artwork of Mitch Gerads and Doc Shaner, 2 different styles, 2 different stories. They thematically tie into each other. They're revealing a mystery, but the art is flawless. 2 completely different styles, but they work and flow so well together. This is an Eisner quality type book just on that alone. But Tom King's doing a great job of crafting the story and showing the nuance of a war hero or a war criminal. What exactly is going on? You got great characterization of Mr. Terrific. This issue is mostly a conversation between Michael and Alana, and it's really great, and it hits a lot of truths, some brutal truths that are not the easiest to admit at times. I'm loving this book. I'm loving this series. Issue 6, to me, was a highlight. It stood out, and one of the best comic books and one of the best dialoguely scripted. One of the best scripted comic books as far as dialogue goes this week. I loved it. At number 4, Once and Future, number 12, from Boom Studios. Once and Future, number 12 just kills it. This is the end of the second arc, the whole Grendel Beowulf story. So it starts off with this really cool inversion of Arthurian legend. King Arthur is not a good guy. He's maybe a bad guy, and now he's actually a monster. And that story was interesting, but now we're widening out the world of Once and Future. We've added in mythology and lore from Beowulf, the Grendel. Crazy stuff. Great artwork by Dan Mora. Amazing, impeccable line work. Great kinetic flow. It's charged throughout. And then that coloring by Tamara Bonvillain. I've said it before. I will say it again, and I'll continue saying it. Tamara Bonvillain has become the best colorist of 2020, and Once and Future is her strongest work. I love the color choices, the palette. It's in your face. It's sickly sweet when it needs to be. It's unworldly, but still grounded and rooted in comic book exuberant fantasticness. I absolutely love this book. I thought they had a super strong ending, and I love the way that they're bringing in more legends and mythology from that era, from that land, and throwing it all together. And it's made something really great. That's a great horror, adventure, action comic book in the vein of something like Indiana Jones meets The Mummy, and I'm loving it. Once and Future number 12 was super solid. At number 3, We Live, number 1, from Aftershock. We Live flew right up under my radar and just knocked me on my ass. I loved this book. It's got a really interesting concept. The basic concept is this: humanity has reached extinction. Humanity has fought and persevered through many extinction level events already in this world, in this book. But now they 100% know that it's ending. And an alien race shows up and says, we will save 5,000 of your children. You just got to pick them and bring them to a certain place. So the story is set on that world. What about the people that don't get chosen? What about the people that are chosen but don't quite make it on time? What is going into the decisions about who gets saved from humanity? I really like this book. It's got luscious artwork. It's done by the Miranda brothers. I'm not really familiar with their work, but I definitely got to check out some of their previous work. This was my sleeper hit of the week. Came out of nowhere, took me by surprise. Great concept, a great satirical, sarcastic nature of telling the story, introducing the world, building up said world, and just doing a great job of introducing me to the characters, making them appealing, relatable, putting me as the reader at ease, and easing me right into this book that's super cool and has a lot of thematic resonance, but really is just anchored by that great concept, amazing artwork and execution, and it tells the story. Holy crap, does it tell the story. It tells it very well. We Live #1, check it out. At number 2, The Red Mother, number 9, from Boom Studios. Red Mother number 9 just kicks it up another notch. This book has been accused of being a slow burn. It's been accused of being a slow burn by me. But when I really started looking at the structure of the story and how events have transpired since the first issue, this is not a slow burn. In fact, it's deceptively fast-paced. Really, it really is. In 9 issues, a lot of story has been done. A lot of locations have changed. A lot of emotional stuff has been dealt with. This book is dealing with trauma, and it does it in a very real way, in a very honest way. And the artwork by Danny Luckert is absolutely beautiful. There's not a wasted line as far as the artwork goes. There's not a wasted panel. And as far as the writing goes, there's not a single wasted line of dialogue. Not a word is out of place. Everything is so engineered and concisely built to this effect, and it is so intentional, this comic book, and I love it. It is so intentional that it feels like a slow burn. But there's 9 issues that have come out, and a lot of the story has progressed. I feel like we're nearing the end game. I don't know how long they plan on going with this, but I'm feeling like a 12-issue arc, and I'm already seeing the end starting to become a little bit more clear out there in the near distance. Whether I'm right or wrong, I love this book. It is an absolute masterclass at less is more, at putting the exact work that needs to be done to produce the exact effect that you're going for. The Red Mother, fantastic. And at number 1, The Devil's Red Bride, number 1 from Vault Comics. Y'all know I love me some Vault Comics, and you know I love me a good samurai tale. And you know I even like the Mulan animated film. The recent live-action Mulan, I don't know. That's why I'm saying this book to me is a little bit like that Mulan done right. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's a samurai tale. It's a war story. It's getting in deep with the characters. It's getting in deep with the themes and the subtext and the artwork by John Bivens. Holy cow. John Bivens is typically, in my estimation, a horror artist. That's what I've come to know his work for. For instance, Creature Feature, a book that came out last year from Vault Comics that was written by Elliot Rahal. Great work from Bivens. Here, the style is obviously still his, but it's morphed in such a way to really add weight and dimension and gravity to this samurai war story. It's great. It's basically about this samurai leader who is trying to defend their people, but he's kind of like a chicken shit or something like that, so his sister has to take that role. Like I said, a little bit like the Mulan type thing, a little bit of a gender swap there, but really, really fun, anchored with great, fantastic dialogue, great character world building, and all that kind of stuff. Sebastian Gerner is the writer. This was a fantastic book. It was incredibly nuanced. It had some great action. It had great samurai-specific action. If you're a fan of samurai fiction, the Kurosawa stuff especially, you definitely got to check this book out. If you're a fan of Mulan, I would recommend checking this book out. I had a lot of fun with it. It was very well done. It was incredibly meticulous in its artwork, in its writing, in its just overall craft, and it made the pick of the week and the number 1 on the top 10. So what were your favorite comic books this week? What was your top 1, your top 3, your top 5, your top 10? Hell, your top 39 if that's what you want to give us. Just let us know what you're digging in the comments down below. below. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And keep on rocking. That's right. Thanks for rocking with us. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. Y'all have a good one. Keep on reading.